Hey friends, welcome back to Pages and Grace. My name is Jess. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a book haul. So today we're going to talk about the books that I've acquired over the last several months. I think there's over 30 of them. I would say about 97% of them are used books. So me personally, I love books and I love to read lots of books and lots of different types of books. So in that process, to make it, financially feasible, I look for books that are used that I'm interested in. I buy just a few brand new books, and those books are normally from authors that I have already tried out. I already trust their writing. I know that they're going to be a good fit, or it's likely that that book will be a good fit for me. And then I might spend full price on a brand new release. So I'm always hesitant to do book hauls because I don't want to make it look like you have to go buy all of these brand new books. Again, most of my books are used. Now, a lot of them, like the Sanderson Special Edition, my husband and I love reading Sanderson, and so that was something that we purchased together. But most of the books that I actually have on my shelves, I purchased secondhand. One of my favorite places to get used books now is on Pango Books. You can also see books that I've unhauled over there on Pango Books. It's actually my husband and I, so sometimes you might see books on there that you've never seen on the channel. They were my husband's and he decided he wanted to get rid of them, so we kind of share that account. I've been kind of on a Pango book buying journey over the last, I'd probably say a month and a half. I have found a lot of good books. I've already read a couple of them to talk about today, but for the most part, I am just building up a couple more genres on my TBR, mainly I think historical fiction. I have really enjoyed the historical fiction that I've read this year, and I'm looking for a few new authors to try out for next year. Again, I don't want to be buying brand new books if I don't know the author yet, if I don't know their work. Our library is not the best at having a wide selection. We live in a very rural area. It's not going to have the same volume of books going in and out. And so when I go to the library, I find one or two maybe. But I think I've seen somebody else talk about how their local library just isn't, all the Christian fiction is mixed in with the fiction. There's not a lot of Christian fiction in my library, actually. And so even this, it's just hard to figure out what's what. And when you go and you have kids with you, it's really hard to find the books. So for me, ordering a few used books from a new to me author, I can test out their books, see what it's like, and see if it's something that I want to continue to purchase and read. And I'm sorry if the lighting keeps going in and out. We're going to get storms here in a little bit, so the lighting is definitely off today, but this is the time that I have to film. I'm gonna get something out. It's been probably 2 weeks since I've been able to film. All of my filming time has been taken up by something else, so today is the day. Let's get through this video. So recently I just joined the Pango affiliate program. I also have a code for you for Pango Books. If you're interested and you have not made a purchase with Pango before, the code will get you $5 off your first $10 purchase on the Pango app. That's how I got into purchasing books on Pango, and I have bought all of these books with my own money or with money that I've gotten from selling books and sending those out. So I do have that code. All of these have been purchased with my own money or from the money that I've earned from selling books on Pango. Okay, they're not in any order. They're not even in order of like when I purchased them. They're the books that I could pull back together because they've all been put on my shelves by this point. So like I said, I have about a little over 30 books. I think I have 2 boxes still to open today. And then yeah, so let's see what I've got here. I have one package that's still on the way. I might film a clip at the very end. The first book I'm going to talk about is Where the Lost Wander by Amy Harmon. I absolutely love this one. Gave it 4 stars. I've already read this one since it came in, I think, in September. This one came in or beginning of October. I really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend it. If you enjoyed either learning about or playing the game Oregon Trail, growing up. This one took me right back to those childhood memories. It was so good, and she does such a good job of taking you into the story, and maybe the things that, like as a child, learning about Oregon Trail is much different than thinking about it from an adult. You're losing children. You are losing people around you. These are people, your family. So this, it was such a good book. I really enjoyed it. The next book I have not read, it is The Accidental Guardian by Mary Connolly. I have not read this one. I have not read anything by this author. So this is a new author to me that I wanted to pick up. She's the only witness to a wagon train attack, keeping her safe, though it means his world is about to be turned upside down. How sweet. So I'm excited to pick that one up. Like I said, I want to build my historical fiction, historical romance for my reading for the next year. So I love reading science fiction and fantasy books. They are some of my favorite stories to just get lost in. But recently, I would say in the last, 6 years, that I have really struggled to find science fiction and fantasy books that I am comfortable with reading. And so when I hear other Christian booktubers talk about a science fiction or fantasy book that I think sounds interesting, I pick it up to try it for myself. Because like I said, I don't like spending my money unless I know that it's something that is already vetted and it's something that I'm going to be comfortable with consuming. And this one is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This book I've heard talked about for years. The first time I heard this book talked about was on a secular channel, and again, there's nothing wrong with it. I just can't trust their advice sometimes when it comes to content in books. And then recently I have seen 2 Christian booktubers actually talk about this book, and so I know Charlene from Coffee and a Book is currently reading it or has read it this month, so I'm excited to hear her thoughts on it. So in this book we follow, I'm going to make up how to pronounce this name. I'm sorry if it's wrong. But Shiori Anma, the Princess of Kaeta, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs through her veins. On the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control of it, forestalling the wedding she never wanted, but also catching the attention of her stepmother. A sorceress in her own right, her stepmother banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes and warning Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Very intrigued. I am excited to pick this one up. Hopefully, I think this one is going to go on my 25 and 2025 list. I actually had it in that pile and I had to go steal it out of it in order to talk about it here. I'm excited to get this one next year. Okay, I've got a lot of books to get through. I gotta go faster. So the next one I picked up was Deadly Target by Elizabeth Goddard. Romantic suspense. I don't have any I have a little bit of Terry Blackstock, which I think would be romantic suspense. So this one is on my list to get to in the next year. I have heard this one talked about so many times, and I found it used at a good price, and that is Premeditated Myrtle by Elizabeth C. Bunce. And it is a crime-solving 12-year-old Myrtle Hardcastle has a passion for justice and a highly unconventional obsession with criminal science. Armed with her father's law books and her mom's microscope, Myrtle studies toxicology, keeps abreast of the latest developments in crime scene analysis, and observes her neighbors in the quiet village of Swinburne, England. When her next-door neighbor, a wealthy spinster and eccentric breeder of rare flowers, dies under mysterious circumstances, Myrtle is sure Miss Wodehouse has been murdered. Yes, please. I hadn't read through that yet, but this is definitely a book. It is on my 25 list as well, so let me get that back over here. Throw in books here. So sometimes with Pango, if you add so much amount, you get like a certain % off for free shipping, and so I think this was one that I added onto it. It is such a beautiful book. It is probably one of those things I'm not going to have time for just now, but it is going to be there when I'm ready. But Calligraphy, this beautiful calligraphy book, Calligraphy Made Easy. Oh my goodness. I have always wanted to take the time to get better with my lettering. I had students that could do just the most gorgeous, amazing calligraphy and lettering, and I would just have them help me out with it sometimes, but I'm not in the classroom anymore, so I need to be able to take care of it myself. So this is always something I wanted to spend a little bit more time on, and with the winter months coming up, I might find a little bit more time to spend with this. I'm gonna back up. That lighting is not working well. I'm getting too close to the camera with the lighting. Normally I have lots of light coming in my windows, but it is getting dark out there. So let me redo that book. We're not supposed to get storms until a little bit later, but I always have my Ryan Hall pulled up on YouTube checking out the weather for me. It looks like right now it's in more of Oklahoma, Texas area, but it should be here later. Okay, so this one, let me give you a brief synopsis after I just talked about it and had to redo it. So Kristen Harmel, the Paris daughter. This book is in 1939. We have World War II historical fiction. Again, I'm trying to add to my selection to choose from when I'm in the mood for a historical fiction book. This one, it sounds like there's a bookshop. So somebody goes missing, and I don't need to know more than that. I don't like to know a lot about books when I go into them. I usually like to hear maybe one or two people talk about either this book or a book by that author, and then if I find a good copy of it, I will pick it up and try it for myself. So this one is Salt of the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. I didn't even read what it was about, so if it's Ruta Sepetys, I will pick it up. I really enjoyed Fountains of Silence by her. Between Shades of Grey, I need to finish by the end of the year, and then I've added this one to my collection. I will read all that she has put out. She did a fantastic job with that book, to the point that I will pick up all of her other books. This one, it looks like 1945, refugees, 4 secrets. So we follow 4 different stories. I don't know. I don't want to know more than that. I just want to experience the story as it unfolds. The next book I picked up was The Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate. This is a historical fiction. It's dual timeline set in 1875 and 1987 in Louisiana. It sounded so interesting. So I love books in this setting, and I, again, add another historical fiction to my list. This one's going to be on my list for 2025. The next book I picked up was Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World by Joanna Weaver. This book, I have seen several of my friends, like in-person friends, read this over on Goodreads, and it is, the little blurb on the back, an invitation for every woman who has ever felt she isn't godly enough, isn't loving enough, isn't doing enough. Yep. So that one is on my list to read. So I think this one I think from this buyer I had like 2 books that I really wanted. I added a couple to get the free shipping, which equaled out to be about the same, and I got more books. So there we go. All right, so the next book is 15 Days of Prayer with Saint Faustina. So I've kind of made it a personal goal of mine, an informal personal goal, to spend more time learning about the saints. One thing when I was teaching at the Catholic school the last 2 years, I don't have a very extensive knowledge of the saints. And that is something that I want to spend more time, now that I have a little more time, studying and researching on my own. I think in September I read 2 books that were saint-centered. I didn't appreciate either of them. Neither of them were what I was looking for. So I've kind of been on a mission to find some books that are what I'm looking for. So I'm excited to get into this book. I also picked up 100 Names of Mary, Stories and Prayers by Anthony Schifolo. Over centuries, Christians have bestowed upon her innumerable titles of devotion. Some lists include more than 6,000 titles, from Ark of the New Covenant to Virgin of Tenderness, and this proliferation of titles reflects the different ways people relate to Mary. While one person may find her comfort with the Mary of Sorrows, another might find his center in the Queen of Peace. So it goes through the different names of Mary and little information and a prayer with each of them. I thought the cover was beautiful as well. Mary, the mosaic tile. Oh, yep. I am all about American history and early American history. I saw this one and I had to have it. It's a cookbook. I don't know, I gotta find something out of here to make. But it is the Williamsburg Cookbook. This is traditional and contemporary recipes adapted from the taverns and inns of colonial Williamsburg. How fun is that? The picture on the front of it got me, and then just looking through, yeah, I've got to try something. We'll see. Maybe I'll put that in a vlog someday. And then I added on an edition of King Arthur for my kids' collection for when they get a little bit older. And this one I remember I added on because it was like, oh, that's so cool. There's illustrations on every page. I had to add it on to get free shipping. No, I had to add it on to get, I think, a significant discount. And that is the ABCs of Early America. I'm here for it. I love these illustrations in this book. How cool is that? So this one has a little swag in it. Sometimes you will have sellers leave something in there for you. Let's see. Which is always so sweet and fun. Thank you for shopping small. Please leave a review. It's always helpful when you leave a review. Get lost in a world that only exists on paper. How cute is that? And between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be. So cute. And then not antisocial, just prefer books. That's cute. The books I picked up, again, historical fiction, adding to my list. So one of my favorite historical fiction that I have read in the last few years is The Kitchen Front by Jennifer Ryan. It is World War II historical fiction. It was about the rationing and women at home trying to sustain their families on rationed food and what they could grow in their gardens. And so it's a story about kind of a cooking competition with what you could make from just the rations, which I thought it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. So I've been looking for other books along that same vein. Not always easy to find. The Victory Garden by Reese Bowen. Next one is Homefront Girls by Suzanne Hayes and Loretta Nyhan. And the next one is The Lost Boys by Darcy Rosenblatt. The last Pango box of books before I go through a couple brand new books. I got 4 brand new books that I have purchased over the last few months. And there may be more. There's probably a couple Christmas books, but I'm going to save those. Oh, this is the one that I found. She had a ton of Christian books. Okay, I got all the books out. I think there's a sticker in every book here. How cute. And the next book I picked up was Enchantress of Numbers by Jennifer Chiaverini to pick up and read. I haven't read anything by Jennifer Chiaverini. We'll see. Oh my goodness, guys. These are brand new books. Some of these are brand new books that I don't think have been read before. But I will link this shop if she still has some of those books there. The next book I picked up was A Noble Scheme by Rosanna M. White. This is the second book in a series, but I could easily pick it up online and then have the second book to read at home. This is a brand new copy. This has not been read before. It was published in 2024. So I don't know if she got sent a copy and she didn't read it. I don't know, but this is a brand new book. Not always the case, but I'm impressed with this seller so far. And then I saw this book on Instagram a few months back. I put it on my list to read, and then I haven't picked it up yet. But then I found it on Pango for a really good price, and so I picked it up, and that is Where the Trees Touch the Sky, a Redwood National Park novel by Karen Barnett. I am so excited about this book. Putting national parks and nature in with mystery, and yes, please. So this book is in the early 1920s. The accelerating destruction of the California redwoods is more than nature-loving Marion Baker can bear. After throwing herself headlong into the work of save the Redwoods League, she meets the handsome Frank Duncan, only to find out he's the son of one of the area's worst timber barons. Though deeply disappointed, she realizes she could have an opportunity to convince him to rescue her favorite grove of trees from his father's greedy grasp. But as she grows to love Frank, will she be able to persuade him, or will she have to choose between him and her conservation efforts? Nearly 50 years later, in 1972, a polio survivor, June Turner, is deeply proud of the legacy her great-aunt Marion has left as a Redwood warrior. Despite her disability, June is determined to prove herself capable as a ranger in the recently established Redwood National Park, even if it means taking to the trails with her crutch in one hand. What better way to carry on the family legacy? What better way to carry on the family tradition of preserving God's magnificent creation? So I'm really excited to pick this one up. We will see. This one is probably going to go on my 25 books in 2025 to pick up. If I don't pick it up sooner than then. That's very possible. Alright, and the last one that is used from Pango. Oh my goodness. Why is that one so much more adorable to me? I love that one. You can get the apples, the coffee, or is it cider? I'm thinking fall time of year here. The Foxhole Victory Tour by Amy Lynn Green. This one, again, historical fiction, World War II. Read the synopsis. It's all the Bethany house, so it's one that I want to pick up here soon. I know, I think there were probably 5 Pango book orders total there. I don't know, I've really been enjoying it and getting some really good deals when I watch out for them. So a lot of times what I do is I will think about, I will find one book that I really want to look for and see all the sellers who are selling that book. Look for one that's in good condition, either hardcover or paperback, whichever one I want, and then look through all the books that they're selling and see if there's anything else on my list before I make my decision on who I want to purchase it from. Because if I'm going to pay shipping, I want to get several books in that order of books that I want to read. Okay, so let's look at the brand new books that I purchased. I think most of these were from Amazon. 3 of them were from Amazon and 1 from Baker Bookhouse. This one was from Amazon. I heard about this one from Tammy at the Protagonist Pub, and it is Love in the Eternal City. She absolutely raved about this book. Sorry, this is by Rebecca W. Martin. It is a Catholic romance, which I've never, ever, I didn't even know it existed, but Catholic fiction. So this one I'm going to give a try and see what I think about it. That cover gets me. What a beautiful cover. So I will check this one out in the near future and see what I think about it. And the last book in the Sweater Weather series by Jenny Proctor, Absolutely Not in Love. I saw on Instagram where she posted that these covers are going to be going away, and I wanted to get it in the Sweater Weather cover before they change it over fully to her new series. So I haven't read this one yet. This one I probably am going to leave on my shelf till next year. I kind of want one more fall book for next year to finish up this series, but it'll be there waiting in the cover that I like for me next year. And this book came in super early, Christmas with a Crank by Courtney Walsh. She announced, I don't know, the week before, very recently, that she has a Christmas book coming out for this year. When I went on to pre-order it, it was already shipping. So I got it within a couple of days. This is one I've actually already started reading, and true to Courtney Walsh's writing, I'm loving it so far. I will let you know my thoughts when I do finish it. And the last, but definitely not least, my most anticipated book of the year is Across the Ages by Gabrielle Meyer. This one finally came in. It came in early, but it finally, for me, came to me so that I can start reading it. I've read, I thought my tabs were already gone. I am buddy reading this one with Bethany from Bethany's Bookshelf. Cannot wait to get into it. This weekend has been crazy. Today is Monday. Finally, I think I'm going to have some time to sit down. This is absolutely the next book that I am going to finish. One of the things about these books, the Timeless series, is when I finish the book, I always want more. I don't want the story to end, but I think soon enough, I think May is when the next one comes out. Okay, I am losing my voice, if you can't tell. lots and lots of books that have come in. I think there's one more clip. If those books come in, I'll put that clip in right here. Oh goodness. So I wanted to update you. This is not at all how I planned on filming this, but you're welcome. But today didn't go like I planned. So this morning we had no power in our town, which not a big deal for me. I had power here outside of town, but there was no school. Our babysitter didn't have power, so we didn't take the twins there, and I couldn't get the things done that I wanted to do. Normally on Tuesday afternoons I have like 2 hours of time to get stuff done, including film things. So here I am making lunch, and we'll just go with it. I'm sorry if there's a crazy amount of noise. This is everyday life. All right, I'm back. So I got interrupted there. I actually had the opportunity for someone to go with me so they could watch my boys while I could go vote. Did that. Back home, eating lunch. Let's talk about these books real quick. So I had 2 books that I got from Pango just today. It was my last Pango order that's out there right now, for now. The first book was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Again, I've been on a kick of trying to find a few new authors, trying some popular thrillers to see what I think about it. I did not spend, I think, maybe $2 on this book, plus shipping between all the books, so that is in there too. Oh no, are you all done? So I'm on a mission to kind of try a few new authors in the next year. This is one that is on my list. See if I like her writing or not. We'll see. And the next book that I picked up was definitely an author that I have tried before. Absolutely loved this like suspenseful thriller, like a survival kind of a story. And this is Falling by T.J. Newman. So I have read Drowning by T.J. Newman and absolutely loved it. I will tell you there's language in that book. I mean, they're in an emergency situation, so I can kind of understand it, but if that's something you don't want in books, don't pick this one up. This one is about a plane. You just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 passengers on board. 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. That sounds so interesting. I know how T.J. Newman did Drowning was absolutely fantastic. It kept me going. It wasn't too much. There were moments where it was very, very intense. Like, you're talking life or death situations. It was just so action-packed. I couldn't put it down. I also... Oh no, go get your truck. Give him his truck back, please. So, real life. Again, I'm sorry. This is the time that I have this week. So, T.J. Newman, this is Falling. It's almost snap time. Go get a different truck. It's okay. I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise in this, but so Falling, really excited to pick this one up. Love Drowning. I don't own a copy of it yet. I'm still looking for a used copy to pick up. I know she has a new one out that I'm waiting for from my library. I don't want to pay full price for a brand new book, hardcover, but it is Worst Case Scenario, and I'm really excited to pick that one up. Yeah, I have it on one of my holds for Libby right now, so I'm just waiting for that one to get in. I'm so excited. So those are all of my Pango book orders that I have outstanding right now. I will say I still have that code. If you have never purchased from Pango before, I would highly recommend checking it out. Specifically at the very beginning, they usually give you a code. I can give you a code. Like, you can add a bunch of things together to really get a really good deal on your first couple of purchases. So just throwing that out there. I also had 2 other books that I forgot to have in this haul. Having books around the sink is not, it's a little scary. So speaking of scary, my husband and I were at the bookstore this weekend. We went on an actual date for once, and yeah. Mario. So we actually got a chance to go to the bookstore, and we picked up 2 books. How cool are these covers? This one is Dracula and Frankenstein. I just finished reading Dracula earlier this month. No, I just finished. they're having so much fun. But so Dracula I just finished in October. I really enjoyed this one, and I think this one will be on the list for next year, Frankenstein. But how cool are these covers? I think these books are going to go on my husband's shelves, but oh my goodness, that is so cool. So that's it for the books that I have picked up recently. Thank you so much for watching in this video. I'm sorry about this clip, and there will be a couple other clips for other videos I'm trying to film right now. Life happens, and I'm just gonna roll with it. Well, that is a lot of books, and now I have a mess of books to put away. So that is all for my book haul for the last few months. I am so excited to get to these books. I think 2025 just might be the year of historical fiction for me. I always love, whenever I pick up historical fiction, I love it. Like, I just consume it, and it just takes over, and I put on all my other books when I'm in the middle of reading a good historical fiction book. And that tells me something. That is something to pay attention to. What books are really drawing you in? Well, I am losing my voice by this point. So, if you made it this far in the video, please leave me a comment down below to let me know that you're still here. Even if it's just an emoji, you don't have to say anything. But if you've read any of these books, or you have a recommendation of where I need to start, or one that I absolutely have to pick up now, I mean, after Across the Ages, sorry, that's got to come first. And then let me know where I should go from there. But thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.